Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to Jersey's Princess Podcast. I'm Alexandria, your host, affectionately known as Miss Congeniality of New Jersey. And about my show, I invite those that have chronic illnesses and they share their beautiful stories. They inspire everyone, they share what it is that they have, and it gives inspiration to those that might be in the same boat. Every individual that I bring on my show, they're incredibly passionate about what they do and talented. My guest today, she's all the way from Hungary, all the way from a whole different country. This very dress, it's a little crazy. It's like the sisterhood of the traveling pants. She was wearing this dress because she's a pianist. And I told her how much I love it because it's orange and it represents multiple sclerosis. So she mailed me this beautiful dress. This is why I'm wearing it today on my show. Her name is Virág Hazai from Hungary.
Hi.
I have a few questions to ask, and she's going to share with us how it is living with a chronic illness. Her chronic illness is EDS, known as forgive me if I say this not the proper way, but it's the Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, EDS. Basically, what EDS is, it's an incurable disease where her body, basically her connective tissue in her body, which surrounds all of your muscles, all of your organs, whether it be your heart that pumps your blood, your lungs that help you breathe, they're all made from connective tissue that surrounds it. Hers happens to be a bit extra flexible, which could actually lead to a lot of problems in the long run. She plays piano, and unfortunately, because of her disease with EDS, her fingers really play a major part of it. She has to be very careful with her body, even when it comes to wearing heels. Any little fall, anything could be very major. And I just want to welcome her to our show here in New Jersey at Bravery Studios. And Raj, I can't thank you enough for my beautiful dress and my first guest I ever had outside of the country. This is so amazing. And my first guest that doesn't have multiple sclerosis, but does have EDS. But guys, there is no cure, no matter where you live. And if you have EDS, it's a genetic disorder that's found in your genes. There is no way of preventing it, but you could prevent accidents from happening by continuing with your medication and always staying physically active. Along with her disease comes with a lot of cognitive fog, where your memory, a lot of memory loss. And I could absolutely relate to that. With piano, you have so much notes you have to know offhand, especially professional pianists. And it's hard to keep up with her memory and to continue playing everything. She just goes by what she knows or what she reads. And a lot of her songs, a lot of songs that she plays, like we have videos, she has Chopin, she has Tchaikovsky, which I dance ballet to. One day I'll be in Hungary, hopefully in Budapest, and I'll be dancing while you play your songs. So my first question I have for you, Viraj, is how do you balance your career and chronic illness?
I would like to say that I don't, because I don't really have a career because of my illness. I think this is one of the hardest parts of being ill, that it can break a career. I wanted to be a professional pianist since I was a little kid. I went to music school for that. I was told many times that I was very talented. I believed that I can make it, but my illness ruined all of it. I really didn't know at all what should I do when I realized that I can't make the entrance exam to the music academy. I was completely lost, and now I study at another university, but I still don't know exactly what I want to do in the future, and I also don't know what I will be able to do in the future. I think it's really hard because being ill, we can never know what we will able to do next year or even on the next day, and that makes having a career very hard or for some people even impossible. And I think we have to find some alternative ways. For example, I started recording my playing and I started uploading it on YouTube and Instagram, and I hope people will listen to it and they will like it, maybe. For having a professional career in music, you have to practice like 6 to 8 hours a day, and for an ill person, that is not possible. But I believe that I still can be a pianist, just not the professional one.
Yeah. So I understand with the career. I completely understand with it's not necessarily a career because how can you reach professionalism being that you have a chronic illness? Because a professional pianist, they practice 6 to 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours a day piano, and you need a lot of rest. When you have a chronic illness, your body lets you know when you're tired. So you have to break away from that. And that seems to be very detrimental with your career. I love how you still perform. I love how you perform for your audiences and you continue practicing. I saw all your beautiful photos. You've been doing piano since you were a child, and that's amazing. Amazing that you continued it all throughout adulthood, but you're reaching the masses now. You're reaching the masses and letting them know that even if you have a chronic illness, you could still continue to do what you do. And I love that about you, Viraj. All right. My second question for you: what challenges do you face as a pianist living with a chronic illness?
First of all, the very limited time and energy I have for practicing. Being ill takes away a lot of energy from me. I have to rest and sleep more often and more longer than others, and I do everything much slower than others, so I need more time and I can do only less work done. And another problem is my brain. I don't have a brain disease, but just like everyone who has a chronic illness, I have a lot of brain fog, and that makes memorizing very hard. Usually, every pianist plays from memory, and I noticed lately that I'm no longer able to do that. It's because I have the constant pain and numbness in my hands and other body parts too, and I feel my symptoms all the time. So when I play, my brain has to manage all of this, and it has no time left for the memorizing, and my brain often freezes while I'm playing. So I started to play only from sheet music, even when I'm on stage. That makes playing a little easier for me. And of course, another huge problem is my hands, because my hands are numb all the time. They are very weak and painful, and not only my hands but my entire body, and that makes important changes too. For example, I had to end wearing high heels on stage because I could no longer walk in high heels, and that is not such a big deal, but it's still sad for me.
I know memory loss, attention span. Also, your brain has all the muscles too, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to be consistent every day. You have to be very disciplined when it comes to anything you put your mind to, especially piano with that long concentration. You're not only reading it, you're listening to it and then making your hands go with it. I know you mentioned your fingers go numb and it hurts, and I see you have braces on your fingers, and it's a lot of work. You have so many intricate muscles and joints in your fingers. And I know with your EDS, it's a problem. I like that you do still exercise it and you go at your own pace. I love that you go on your own pace because I understand like with a chronic illness. You want to do so much. You want to say yes. You don't want to let anybody down. But in the end, you let yourself down when you aren't able to keep up with it. And I like that you do it at your own pace and you're true to yourself and you're teaching the world, showing the world that you're adapting to what it is that you do on your timing. And I really appreciate that about you, Viraj. My third question. So, Viraj, how has your illness influenced your music?
I can say it made my personality and my music darker and more sad as well, but deeper and more emotional at the same time. I was a very bright and happy and always positive girl before, and because of my illness, I became more like melancholic, and my humor also transformed mostly to dark humor. That is because I started to have many bad memories instead of the happy ones, and even my happy memories became sad ones too, because they all remind me of how much stronger I was back then. I think one of the hardest parts of being ill is losing abilities one after another in everyday life and in playing music as well. I'm able to do less and less as the time goes, and I can't stop this from happening. Because of my illness, I lost my ability to play fast and long pieces, so I started to choose only easier and shorter and only slow music. That changed my way of playing music because it made me sad, but at the same time, it made my ability to play slow and sad music better, and I can feel the pain perfectly in those pieces.
I absolutely love your response to that question. And I love that it was your favorite question out of my questions. So, yes. All right. So it seems like you play a lot of adagio. Like that's the music that I dance to. I take it slow. So I know you said with your music, it seems it goes with your mood, as if you're mourning the person that you once were, the healthy person you were. So your music is a lot slower. It's not as fast as how you used to play. I saw all your videos on TikTok, on Instagram, even on your YouTube page, how when you on your younger days you were playing so much, like you are Mozart, you are Beethoven in a female form. And I think you're great. And even the songs that you played that are right there in my emails with Tchaikovsky, I love all those slow songs, and I get it. It goes with your pace. You have to move slower now. You have to play slower. And not only that, the notes. There's so many notes in that, and when you read your music, and you could keep up with it. And I love that you do that. Your audience, I see how much they enjoy your music. I see how passionate you are when you're playing the piano and how you move with it and you're able to. You're so connected with your music, and I see how it goes with how you're feeling. I get it. I get it. I get the sad feeling. It's just like me with ballet, so it'll be perfect. Be perfect. You play your piano songs that are slow, and that's why I'll dance adagio. I have to keep it very slow too. And I love that we can relate, and I get it with the cog fog, and I'm proud of you. This is also therapeutic for you. This is also part of your therapy too. And I love that. And I love all your piano music. Chaplin, everyone, Tchaikovsky. I love when you play them. What strategies help you manage your health and performance?
I think the most important is having enough rest. Having a chronic illness, my body don't work the same like other people's, so I have to accept this. What helps me the most is I don't compare myself to healthy people anymore. It's not easy to do at all, and I try to not compare myself to my previous self either, because I'm able to do less than, for example, a year or 2 years ago, and comparing my present self to that would make me really sad. So I go at my own speed only, I choose only slow pieces to play, and I don't play from memory when I'm on stage, and I don't wear high heels anymore. I wear only comfortable clothes and so on. So I try to find a way of being pretty on stage while making the situation matching with my illness. Other thing is I try to rest a lot on concert days, and before I learn to say no to other programs when I don't have the energy for them. This is also not easy to do, and I try to stay calm before I go on stage, and I keep telling myself that I don't have to play perfectly. Others wouldn't be able to play like me if they had my illness, and I think this helps a little.
I love that you have an open relationship with your medical team and you let them know. I know it's tough because EDS is yes, it's a genetic tissue connective tissue disorder. There is no cure for it, but every individual has a different one. I get it. I'm not going to relate it to MS, but when you're diagnosed with a chronic illness like EDS, there's different symptoms. It could attack different things, whether it be all of your joints in your body, whether it be your organs. Your body's very, very sensitive. And I think it's because there is no cure. We're still in the beginning stages of things. We're still exploring the very human body and how we grow. And I'm glad that you take things with a grain of salt. You continue to do what it is that you do, and I love that you're honest about it. You're honest, and you let people know I'm unable to practice or play for 6 to 8 hours. I'm able to perform the slower version of a song, whether it be Chopin or Tchaikovsky. Like you do it, and I see that, yeah, you want to wear your heels and now you're wearing flats because remember, everything is connective tissue. Your joints, your feet have so many. I get it. You have to work it all out. But I just want to let you know your whole entity when you play, it's just amazing. Like I see that you are playing through your pain, but you're feeling it. You're feeling it and you dress beautifully. And I love that you're very cautious and you know you take the time when to relax and when to practice. And I love that you still perform. And who knows, maybe this isn't the end of your career. Maybe we can modify things, you know? It doesn't have to be so perfect. You never know who else you're inspiring and where you'll be performing one day. They just might need someone like you with EDS to show not only can somebody, a abled person that doesn't have a disability, but you could do it too. You are brilliant. And I love that you went for all those exams and you are there. You know you have the talent. I just understand that the hands and the memory have difficulty catching up. And it's okay. And I love how open you are about that. That's how we got connected on social media because we're chronic illness warriors. So we like similar reels and posts. And I like how you have that about on your page, how you have EDS and how you continue to play the piano. You didn't let that stop you from it. And I know we could really beat ourselves up about what is that we can do or can't do, but I love that you don't compare because we're all different. There is no comparison. And Virág, you are awesome, awesome. I let the whole world know about how awesome you are and my beautiful dress too. I'm gonna move on to my fifth question. Virág, are you able to share any advice to anyone living with EDS? Even though it's all different symptoms, any advice you could give?
I would say never compare yourself to others, not even to others with the same illness. I also have an experience when a doctor compared me to another person who also had EDS but a different type. He said things like that other person was able to do much more than me and was in a better condition than me, and he said that like he tried to blame me for being in a worse condition. I think every single person, even with the same type of an illness, can be very different. and we should never compare them. And you also should never compare yourself to a healthy person. If you are an artist or performer, I would say it can be good posting your art on the internet because you can find followers and friends here, and you can meet many other ill people, which is very helpful, I think. And besides this, you can post your art without leaving home, and you can do only a few work done at one time, but you can still show your art and talent to the world. And I also would say rest a lot. Don't be afraid of resting if you need it.
You have to accept it. I know it's hard to accept and it's bothersome, but I like that you accept the fact that you can't change it, but what you can change is your attitude towards it. And look what you're doing now. Look how many people, look at the masses you're reaching. You reached me all the way here in the USA, in New Jersey, at Bravery Studios. And I love that you speak to your doctor, you let them know, and you see what works for you. Because remember, I feel that we also help our doctors out. Yes, they're treating us, but we have to give them the details in order for them to treat us. And that's what you do. I love how the minute and intricate details, I feel like you do that in your life, whether you do that with piano, you also do that with your health. And that's very admirable. So understand your disease. It seems like you do understand your disease. You do know when it's time to slow down, just like you said with you don't even wear heels anymore. You know, the luxury, I know it's not like you said a big deal, but I get it. That's why I always wear my heels too, because I know there's going to be a day I'm not going to be able to. So I understand you wore your heels and you still perform, and you could perform on anything, all those pianos. And one day I do have my passport. I can't wait to go to Budapest and I want to see you perform. And I'm just beyond happy and grateful that you're on my show. I can't believe I have my friend from Hungary, my chronic illness warrior. You're here and you saw me through my journey. I'm watching you through yours. And I'm beyond proud of you. I'm beyond proud of you. It takes a lot to speak up about what it is that you have. It it takes a lot, especially when you had a vision since you were a little girl. I saw those beautiful posts and those beautiful pictures. I think you said you're 2 or 3 and you were at the piano and you continue to do that. You're living your passions, and that's what life is all about. Life is very, very short, and you make sure you're living it. And I love that. I love that about you, Raj. You're so friendly, and I love that you finally got my package. I sent you an outfit, and I'm glad you got it yesterday in the mail. And believe it or not, I did iron. I did iron this dress, and thank you so much for gifting me this dress. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I can't thank you enough for being on my show.